Merry Christmas morning to everybody from sunny but cold Pennsylvania. Woke up this morning and I found a small present under the tree. Literally under my tree again. I don't know if it came from Santa, I don't know if it came from my cats, or maybe it just arrived in one of those Amazon boxes, who knows. But let's see what it is. When I was a kid, there was nothing that made me happier on Christmas morning than waking up and finding new Legos under the Christmas tree. Of course, they were all wrapped, but my sister and I would come out and we'd peek at those wrapped presents, and we'd shake every one. And you always knew which one had the Legos. And so then it was a matter of trying to guess what set it was. I was usually wrong on that count, but we'd open them and then spend Christmas morning building them. A lot of sets back then, they were simpler. They were either simple houses, cars. I had a whole Lego city. I actually still have it. It's just not set up. These newer sets are a lot more involved, a lot more specific. Being involved in the construction industry and loving buildings, loving architecture, and all that stuff, I've always been drawn to this relatively new series of Lego architecture. I have a couple sets in this series. I guess you could say this was the Christmas gift I bought for myself this year. I mean, actually, it's been sitting waiting to be built for probably about a month, but I like building these on Christmas morning. You know, as an adult, if you don't have kids, you kind of have to come up with your own traditions, and yeah, I'm not a huge holiday person, but most years I do buy myself a little something to put together Christmas morning. So let's go ahead and build this. Maybe we're gonna have help from some of the cats, maybe not. Looks like Juliet's gonna be our helper today. She was sleeping here. I think I interrupted her nap with my video making, but we'll see if she takes any interest in helping us build the Las Vegas skyline. So why did I decide to do the Las Vegas skyline today? For one, it's one of my favorite cities in the world. I'm not a gambler, trust me. I can go to Atlantic City, I can go to Bethlehem, any one of Pennsylvania's casinos to waste my hard-earned money. That has no appeal. For Vegas, I love the sights and sounds, I love the architecture, I love the shows, there's some cool car stuff there, there's racing. I love sightseeing in the desert. The desert is second only to the beach in terms of places that relax me. I've been to Hoover Dam, I've been to Red Rock Canyon, Valley of Fire, been down to Prim, Nevada. I just love that kind of stuff. Vegas is just a fun place. And for many years, I've always said, I'm going to go to Vegas for Christmas. I figure it's impossible to get the holiday blues if you're out somewhere having fun. Unfortunately, I never did get to go to Vegas for Christmas, so we'll bring Vegas to us today. And I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try to do some time-lapse photography of this thing being built. I'm not going to run a video of the entire build. Honestly, I don't have enough memory on my system to work with that. It's just impossible. But I'll try to reminisce along the way. I know some recent videos, I've gotten a lot of comments saying people enjoy hearing my thoughts and memories on stuff, and I have a lot of fond memories from Vegas. I also love building Legos. So we're going to have some fun with this. Hopefully the cats are going to stay out of the way. And hopefully the video is going to come out like I hope. If not, you're never going to see it, and you'll never know. You'll never know otherwise, so it doesn't hurt to experiment. Anyway, this Lego skyline is one of several cities that is part of the Lego architecture series. This particular one is 501 pieces. It has the famous Welcome to Las Vegas sign. It has the Bellagio Hotel with the fountains. It has the Luxor Hotel and the Sphinx in front of it. And I can tell you my OCD is going to drive me crazy, because if you're really going down the Las Vegas Strip, the Luxor comes before the Bellagio, but we'll go with it. You have the Wynn Hotel, and you got the Stratosphere Tower, and the little hotel at the base of it, and you got the Fremont Street experience. So the back of the box pretty much just details what I already told you about landmarks included. I have been, more or less, been to all of these. I've been inside all of them except for the Bellagio. And I have watched the Bellagio fountain show from the replica of the Eiffel Tower across the street. So let's open this up and see what's inside. They do a nice job with these modern kits of separating out the pieces. Some of the kits do it with bag numbers. I don't see numbers on these. These Skylines have a lot of small pieces. What's nice about them, I don't live in a particularly large house. What's nice about these is they don't take up a huge amount of space. And I like to keep my Legos and other stuff inside of display cases so that the cats can't get at them. So these take up a minimal amount of space. You can enjoy these pretty easily. So one of the things I love about the Lego Architecture series is they give you these really nice instruction booklets that show you not only how to build the set, but they give you background information on the set itself and what everything's modeled after. So you can learn a little bit about each landmark as you go through it. I mean, I visited all of these places, and there's probably, I'll read it later, there's probably facts in here that I don't even know. The instruction books for these kits get pretty lengthy. You know, may seem a little intimidating to know we're going to about 127 pages, but each step is usually only a couple of pieces. What I'm going to try to do, and again, I don't know how well this is going to work, I'm just going to do a still photo after each step. I'll pause at a couple points to talk about my progress along the way, and hopefully we're going to see a nice finished product when this is all done. And hopefully the cats aren't going to cause too much interference. So when you live with cats, you learn to be very, very careful and deliberate about doing small projects like this. So typically what I do when I get a set like this is I'll just dump each bag into its own bowl. Helps keep the individual pieces a little bit more sorted, kind of by color and shape, the way Lego intended apparently. This particular set doesn't have numbered bags. A lot of the sets, they'll actually give you a number order you're supposed to open them in. This one's kind of just, you know, have at it, here's everything. So far the cats are behaving. They've had their breakfast. They're kind of tired. I got Juliet watching this with great interest. She's a good cat, though. I'll tell you what. This one does not misbehave hardly at all. She's a good kitty. Squeezing her eyes at you. She's saying hi to the viewers. She's saying, get that camera out of my face. I want to sleep. So let's get building. Okay, so we've got our base for the Las Vegas Strip built. A lot of building kits give you a simple base plate on which to place all the structures. You can see this was quite a complicated build. There's a lot of different pieces going on here. A lot of different colors. I'm not sure quite how that plays into the final design, but let's get back to building. So if we consider steps 1 through 20 building the city infrastructure, I would say steps 21 through 28 are putting in the foundations for the buildings, some of the sidewalks, looks like some of the greenery, if that's what those little wedges are. Not that there's a whole lot of green in Vegas, other than the money. I'm talking about vegetation. It looks like the next steps are going to have us building the Fremont Street experience, which will go on this end. So I'll get back to it. So far, so good with the cats. It looks like my supervisor, Juliet, has fallen asleep on the job. We'll let her keep sleeping. Oh, great. She heard my voice and started stirring. She's a good cat. She's got a toy in her paws. She's happy. Alright, our Las Vegas Lego skyline is finally starting to take shape here. You can see we've completed the Fremont Street experience. I had thought this little hotel was part of the Stratosphere Tower, but it looks more like that's connected with Fremont Street. I don't know what hotel that is. I'll pretend it's the Four Queens. Last time I went to Vegas in 2007, I stayed at the Four Queens Hotel on Fremont Street. And the reason I did that, I had gone for the Champ Car World Series race, which was a street race on the streets around the old downtown. And I thought it was pretty cool that I could just step out of my hotel, be right at the racetrack, even though I did have to take a shuttle bus to my actual seat. It was still neat. You could stand in the parking garage of the hotel and watch the cars go around. And you could also step right out and enjoy the sights and sounds of Fremont Street. Okay, steps 37 through 40 went pretty quickly. Those steps have given us the base and the landscaping for the Wynn Casino, now called the Encore, actually. I believe they call it the Encore at the Wynn. And we got one of my favorite buildings in the world. We've got the Luxor Pyramid Hotel. I've been inside this in real life. It's really cool. I have not spent the night, and unfortunately, for security reasons, if you're not a hotel guest, they will not let you ride the inclinators. The inclinators are actually diagonal elevators that take you from the lobby up to your room. Someday I'd love to stay there. Hopefully I'll get back and be able to do that someday. And we'll talk more about the Wynn when we get that part built. Steps 41 through 43 were short but fun. That's where we build the Sphinx. And in real life Las Vegas, to get into the Luxor Hotel, you walk between the legs of the Sphinx and under his head to get inside. And from what I understand, the pyramid and the Sphinx in Vegas are built to scale. So they'll give you a sense of how big the real ones are. It's one of my dreams to go to Egypt someday to see the real pyramids. Okay, it's beginning to look a lot like Las Vegas. We've got the Stratosphere Tower completed. This was where I stayed in 2001 when I took my first trip ever to Las Vegas. I'd wanted to ride the high roller roller coaster at the top. Unfortunately, it was closed for maintenance that week. However, there was the big shot ride on top. I rode that several times. My God, is that a thrill ride. I did get back to the roller coaster on another trip. It was cool, but I like the big shot better, to be honest. That's like a rocket ride. You can't even see the base of the tower when you're at the top. You just feel like you're being launched above the Las Vegas Strip. It's really cool. Anyway, this tower came out pretty good. Took a little bit to finesse these supports into the proper position. You got to get the rotation on the base and the top correct. But once you get it, you can see that it literally towers above everything else here. And that's the case in real life, too. It is the tallest building in Las Vegas. And I believe it was or still is the tallest building west of the Mississippi. And we'll take a brief intermission here. You can see that Juliet has moved her nap into the sunbeam. Can't say I blame her. It's actually feeling pretty warm for Pennsylvania Day, at least inside. The sun's shining, the cat's happy, and they've left me alone to do my building so far. So let's keep going. Okay, so steps 52 through 78 have given us the Encore at Wynn. This is a casino hotel, and the coolest part of this place in real life, which is not depicted in the Lego set, is there's a Ferrari dealer at the ground floor. You are allowed to visit it. You're not allowed to take pictures. You're not allowed to touch the cars, drive the cars. But you are allowed to go in and look at the cars. I think you actually have to pay for that privilege. But I visited it, and my fondest memory of that, it's the only place I've ever seen a real Ferrari Enzo. There was even a Ferrari FXX, which is the race version of the Enzo. I believe it was owned by Roger Penske, and it was just on display there. I could be misremembering that. It was obviously quite a few years ago, and since we were not allowed to take pictures, who knows? Hopefully I'm remembering that right. And incidentally, there's a new Wynn Casino in Boston that's been built over the past couple years. I did do some of the design work on that, although it was all on the base, not on the glass tower that rises from it. But I have yet to visit the Boston one in person. Okay, let's keep building. We're getting close to having this thing done. The big thing we're missing right now is the Bellagio with its fountains and the Welcome to Las Vegas sign. So let's get working on that part next. So the Bellagio is finally finished. That took us from steps 80 through 135. You can see it was a pretty grueling build. It's an interesting construction method to make a Y-shaped building. Kind of reminds me of the prefab construction I do for a living. You build something laying on its side in the shop, and then you lift it into position vertically on the building. You'd see the sun's been shifting around quite a bit while I'm doing this. This is my home studio, which I'm almost done renovating, but I haven't quite got artificial lighting yet. I'm actually, for now, pretty dependent on the sun. So we're going to try to get this thing done. Really, the only thing left, we got two things to go. We got the Welcome to Las Vegas sign, and we got to do the key part of the Bellagio that makes it a landmark, the fountains. Alright, so I hope you've stuck with me through this build. This has been a fun time this Christmas Day. Kind of makes you feel like a kid again. You know, you're never too old to have a good time with stuff. We have finally finished building the Las Vegas Strip. Really like how it turned out. It's very colorful. It's a little bit bigger than I expected it to be. And it's got a lot of my favorite landmarks in it. We start out here. We got the Welcome to Las Vegas, or actually Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada sign. We've got the Bellagio Hotel with its fountains. That was definitely the toughest part of the build. We've got the Luxor and the Sphinx. We've got the Encore at Wynn, minus the Ferrari dealer in the bottom. It'd be really cool if they put a little scale model Ferrari down there. Here we've got the Stratosphere Tower. Would have also been really cool if they put a little roller coaster up there, but hey, can't have it all. But very cool. It's one of my favorite buildings. I've been up it a couple of times. I've ridden the rides up top. It's a very fun thing. I hear you can, I'm not sure if it's bungee jumping or zip lining off the top of that thing now. That would scare the crap out of me, but if I ever get to Vegas again, I will have to do it. And last but not least, you got Fremont Street. You got one of the little hotels, and you've got the light show. One of the things I love about Lego is they always make sure you have extras of the little parts on hand. Yeah, I work pretty meticulously. It's really rare that I lose something. I've been very lucky the cats have let me work in peace today, but it is good that they package it with these little easy-to-lose pieces just in case. And I always keep them in case I ever need a piece, you know, to replace something that falls off, or for another set that I'm building someday. And last but not least, Juliet's back on her chair. The sun's been moving as we've been working on this. This has taken, I'm not sure, it's got to be 3-4 hours. But she's been moving around. She's got her little dinosaur or dragon toy, whatever that is. She's a really well-behaved cat. I have no trouble from her. The others have been sleeping. But we'll sign off here. I'm going to make 2 versions of this video. I've never done the time-lapse thing before. It's going to be a lot of work editing this, but I'm going to do 2 versions. One, I'm going to leave this commentary in. And the other, I think I'm just going to do the plain old building of the Lego set without any extra yakking or intermissions. Because there's people who just, you know, they just want to see it built. But anyway, Merry Christmas to you. I really appreciate everybody who's supported this channel, who's wished me well this holiday season. Hope whatever you guys are out there doing, you're having a good time doing it. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.